What's up, guys? Average Kiwi Guy here. How y'all doing? So we just started up with E3 2017. Just got done with the EA press conference. Uh, um, I didn't think EA could do worse than what they did last year, but they did. They did. I guess we should have known when they started straight off the bat with Madden. They started straight off the bat. That was their very first game they showed us. The story mode for it. I don't know what. I'm sure there's a thing. It's like the long shot, I think it was called. I mean, that stuff's cool. I mean, I can appreciate that stuff because I could see like that's an appeal to me. Like I personally would probably, if I got that game, I would probably play that mode. It makes more sense to me. That's the actual story. But when you start the press conference out with that, that tells me that you do not have all that much to show. And they were like, okay, we're going to show you 8 unique experiences. They didn't tell us that 3 of them were pretty much, no, I think more than 3 actually were sports related. And I get EA Sports is like their biggest money earner. Like FIFA, I'd say, would be like over 60% of what they make, EA makes, is FIFA. Guaranteed. So you can understand that. And then I'd say Madden's probably another like 10, 15, 20% on top of that. So it's what, drives EA. And I was expecting it. I was expecting, a decent amount of sports. I was like, but hopefully we would get, some other games of some, of actual substance, or tell us some stuff about some games that you got coming down the line, like especially Star Wars related and things like that. But we didn't get it. We didn't get any of it. The only sort of highlight, like the moment where I was like, oh shit, like, oh my god, this, like really got really excited, was when the new BioWare IP launch, like they announced it, like they said like, oh yeah, BioWare's bringing out new IP. Anthem, but they basically shipped it off to Microsoft. It's for the Microsoft thing tomorrow, press conference tomorrow. Like, how much did Microsoft pay you to give up their IP? Like, the whole like unveiling of it all and stuff. Like, seriously. Like, BioWare is your own company, and they didn't have anyone from BioWare there. They had no one. There was no one there. Like, they're your company. How can you not have someone to come out and explain a little bit of what Anthem is? Nothing. It cut straight to NBA Live 2018 or something. I could not believe it. I could not believe it when that happened, because it looks cool. It looks real cool. It looks like a combo of Destiny, Halo, Titanfall, a whole bunch of stuff. So hopefully, like, it's BioWare, so it's bound to have a good story and it's bound to have some good stuff to it. But EA, this is your big game that would have gotten you a lot of brownie points if you had shown us a lot more, but it didn't. You just flogged it off and then went straight into more sports. To be honest, it felt like EA like phoned it in this year. It felt like they phoned it in. They were all about like the sort of like fan like places around LA at the time and stuff. It felt like they phoned it in, to be honest, with the press conference. It's like, if you're gonna do this, just send your games off to the other press conferences. Do events like that for E3. Boom, save yourself some money. Save yourself some time. Like, you don't need them. Like, just send them off. Like, use your like CEO. Your CEO can go off and announce a couple of EA games through the other like Microsoft and Sony's press conferences. Just do that. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. What they did to Anthem. It was absolutely ridiculous. And I guess another like highlight of the press conference was their indie section. They had, well, there's like the one indie that they do. EA Originals, I think. And that's the guys from Hazelight. And Hazelight are the guys that did Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, which for many is like a masterpiece of gaming. It's like one of the best games that a lot of people have played. And they've made another sort of co-op two-person game. Sort of a prison break, sort of, criminals on the run type game called A Way Out. And you sort of go through the story, and these two characters are different, and they have their different motives, they have their different skills and their different stuff. And each player does their own thing, and like one player can be in a cutscene while the other player is moving around and doing stuff. It looked pretty cool, like pretty damn cool. And the guy that came out for it was so excited about his game and so excited about telling people about his game, which EA does do very well. I think for the past like 3 years now, they've bought out an indie developer who is so excited about telling people about his game that, you can feel it, you can, you can understand, you can get it from them as they're telling you. It's really good. It was really good. But yeah, this game looks fantastic. It's got a cool art style to it. The whole prison break thing is really cool. It's a it's a co-op split screen game, so you had to have someone else to play it with. And they said you can play online with each other, with each other, or they say like, we really would like you guys to play it, like coach co-op, couch co-op, sorry. And so you got the person right next to you, and you can figure out how to get out of things, and take different routes and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. That was pretty cool. As a good highlight, in the middle there, amidst some very bland parts. But yeah, no, that was pretty cool. So I guess we gotta talk about Need for Speed. And the poor guy who got got put up to introduce, bring up the guys for Need for Speed Payback. He froze. He hard out froze. He didn't know what to say. He didn't know what to do. He sort of just went with it, and then the sort of, I think, executive producer or something like came on to help him out. It was painful to watch. It was painful. It's funny, but you feel sorry for him too, because like for me, if I had to do that as well, that would be my worst fear, is freezing up like that. But there's always one. There's always like these moments through E3 where this stuff happens. So, yeah. That poor guy. But yeah, like Need for Speed Payback, it looks like Fast and Furious the game. It really does. I mean, it looks cool, but Forza looks far better than what this looks like. I haven't played a Need for Speed game since, I think, the one after Underground 2, like the one that was in a city, and it was like live action sort of cutscenes and stuff. I can't remember the name of it. That was my last Need for Speed game I played. So for me, this is not that appealing. The scene they showed where it's like chasing this truck with like the $2 million car that they want to steal. It was like, okay, take out a couple of bad guys, which they took out very easily, by the way. It was just like glance there, and the two cars like blew up. And then it was like drive to checkpoint, like, but it's a moving checkpoint. So it's like drive up to a checkpoint, boom, this cutscene happens. Truck slams his brakes on. Drive up to another checkpoint. Girl jumps into the thing, and then you take over the girl as she comes out of the truck, and you drive that car. I don't know. It's just, I don't think Need for Speed has like really done all that well for a while now, and I don't think this game's gonna turn it around anytime soon. Like, for me, it doesn't look all that interesting. I'm sure for some it does, but I think people were just sort of like, if you're gonna go like batshit crazy like Fast and Furious does, go batshit crazy. Blow shit up, bash things out of the way. If you're gonna do that stuff where you're gonna drive up to a truck and get someone to jump on, you control it. You gotta get yourself up to that truck, and hold yourself there while that person goes. If you fail, guess what? That girl dies. Stuff like that. Like, make it actually like your skill as a driver comes into play. That sort of thing. But yeah, and then there's just like customization stuff. It's Need for Speed. It better have customization. It's just like, that's the whole part of Need for Speed. Now, ever since they did Underground, it's been about customizing your car and spending the majority of the time in the customization menu. So, and then I guess for me, like, they had a whole bunch of sports games. They had the Battlefield 1 new DLC. I think the Russian front for it. It's like, I can't remember the name of it. I don't really play Battlefield 1, so it wasn't all that interesting to me. But, it looked cool. It looked cool. The nighttime maps looked interesting. Like, I like the whole, that whole nighttime thing. I think it's an interesting way to take a map, so that's cool. But it's a map pack that you got to buy. If you haven't bought them, you're way behind, where everyone's playing the game. So, I don't know. I never really clicked with Battlefield 1, so. And then, I guess, you had the sports. You had, Madden, FIFA. I think they were going on about tournaments. And then NBA Live. Okay. And then they went into Star Wars. And they were like, 30 minutes of unadulterated Star Wars. I was like, yes. Okay, here we go. Give me the Star Wars games. Like, 30 minutes, that's plenty of time to do a couple of games. That's plenty of time. Like, awesome. No. It was just Battlefront 2. Just Battlefront 2. They were going on, they're going more into the multiplayer side this time. Like, they've been going on about the story. I would have liked to see a little bit more story, but, they got to hide some stuff. Basically, they reconfirmed that, maps and characters are free. But there are these things called like star cards, which I think will be microtransactions. That you can buy those cards that will give your, like, I think they'll give your, like, guys that you do your heroes and your, like, upgraded classes, like, better stuff, like better abilities or something like that. I don't know. The game looked beautiful. Like, they show Theed, they show the Battle of Theed. There was a whole match going on, which I thought they were going to do after the presentation so that we could get more games in. No, it was just all about Battlefront 2. And, Theed looked beautiful. Seeing all the different droids and seeing the classes getting used. Yes, like, thank you. That's the way Battlefront was meant to be. Like, it was not meant to be like, you gotta pick your loadout and you're stuck with that loadout for the entire freaking time. It's about, like, changing your classes up when you need it to. And that was cool. And, seeing the super battle droids getting in there, the heavy clone troopers, I was like, that's gonna be me all day. That's gonna be me all day. Loved it. The flying looked somewhat similar, maybe a bit better. I don't know. Trouble was, all the things they were showing about the people playing the game, they would play a little bit and then it just instantly die. And they keep going back to the same people, and those people weren't all that good, so they kept dying all the time. So it got really annoying to watch in places. And then when they went into there was a 2-phase map, and when they went into the second phase, it was all indoors and very closed in, and there was a lot of explosions and laser, like, ricochets and everything going off, and it got very busy because there was a lot of people in there. And I think that might be a problem, just for some people. Like, it would get, way too much, like, oh my god, this is way too many things going on. So it'd be interesting to see if they changed, like, the map orientation a little bit or something, leading into it. Darth Maul, Rick's house, just rips people apart. Love the way Darth Maul plays, sort of tumbling in the air, looked great. We saw Rey for like an instant, and she insta-died, like nothing, saw nothing from her. A little bit of Han, a little bit of Boba. I liked it. Obviously I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play Star Wars Battlefront 2. Hopefully, like, for me, it's all about that story. That story is going to be, my primary focus at the start. The multiplayer is going to have to show me some, like, are you going to hold me and actually, get me to play you, over and over again for a decent amount of time? Or am I going to get burnt on you like a beta weekend and then never play you again? So yeah, that's going to be the tricky part for them. But yeah, like just very disappointing from EA. Very disappointing. Like barely anything of notable worth. Like they're probably like their big like shock moment, which was BioWare, got just cut down, and then threw NBA up after it was just rubbing salt in the wound. No BioWare guys to explain what it was, what's happening. Obviously, we're going to get that tomorrow with the Microsoft thing. But it's EA and BioWare. It's your game. Why is it getting moved to Microsoft? Obviously they paid them a lot of money to get it. So, but yeah, overall, like, all the story stuff that they explained a lot about the damn, like, new FIFA stuff. I think it was just not a conference for me. It was not a conference for me. It was a conference for people that love sports games, with a few little things thrown in there to like intrigue other people. I just don't think that the people that they're targeting for those, which are people that play FIFA and people that play Madden and all those sports games, I don't think they really are people that would tune into these sort of things. They'd be keen to see trailers, but I don't think they're tuning in. Like there'd be some, like I'd admit, like there'll always be some. I'd never say that no one would, none of them would ever would, but I feel like it's just not. It wouldn't be their thing, but I would never assume that. But yeah, it had a lot of cringe moments. The after sort of show was very like over the top. Like they had the cast of the Madden story going on and on and on and on and on and on and on. It was just like so try-hardy, so over the top. It was ultimate cringe. The cringe levels were off the charts. Which is E3. The cringe is always around and it's fun to see. But when it gets too much, that's when you got a problem. But yeah. EA, you got to work out something. I don't know if, like, I think people are going to just stop watching EA's press conferences because they are, like, they're barely non-existent. They really aren't. Like, the audience was so bad. They just they could not get anything out of them. There was no cheers. There was no clap. There was barely any claps. Half the time they didn't know what to do. Like they didn't even have people paid their employees in there to boost the sound. It was nothing, and the whole YouTuber stuff was pushed in your face so much. It got very tiring. Yeah. But I guess we kind of expect that from EA. They're always the bottom tier of press conferences. So the bar this year is set very low. The first one was set very low. They set it low last year too. I don't think Microsoft, Bethesda, Ubisoft, and Sony have much to beat. I think Ubisoft we always know is kind of going to be very cringy, but they lean into it. They kind of enjoy that part. But I don't think it's going to be all that good this year because they don't have Aisha Tyler. But we'll see. But yeah. All right, guys, that's it for us. Thank you very much for watching. We will have the other press, reactions to the other press conferences coming up. I am doing a live reaction to it on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/TheAverageKiwiGuy. So if you want to check it out, go hit that follow button. You'll know when we go live. We'll go live right when the press conferences go up. So that's when we're doing it. So go check us out. So we'll have these right after the press conferences for the next two days. 3 days, I guess, including today. Hopefully it gets a bit better. I'm looking forward to seeing more about that Anthem game tomorrow in Microsoft. But yeah. All right, guys, that's it for us. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Peace. Bye.